I planned it.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, you know, maybe we'll start with that, and then we'll move back around. But talk about MySpace stuff.
Okay.
First of all, how you first discovered it, and how that kind of worked with you were already on the net with your own page, and how MySpace kind of came to you, or you came to it, and how that worked.
So I found out about MySpace, I think we were all on Friendster back then. It was really huge. And then Friendster started slowing down and it was hard to maneuver around there. And then suddenly I started getting all these invites about MySpace. So I went to go check it out and the functionality was really great and it was focused on musicians. Like you could sign up as a musician and have your songs playing on the page really easily for people to listen to. So that's what caught my interest. And I already had a website at that time and it just kind of started directing that traffic to my MySpace page where they could listen to my music. And I could post pictures and all my friends were on there, so we were all interacting. So it was pretty exciting when it first came out.
What kind of response did you initially get? Like how, in terms of like numbers and emails, how did that just kind of jump right away?
Well, another reason I got onto MySpace was that once I got on there, it just seemed like people were signing up to my page and I was getting a lot of traffic, so I got really excited about it. So I'd put on like all kinds of new blogs and pictures and everything, and every time you put up something new, you see like a spike in traffic. So it's easy, it's exciting just to have a place where you could see the numbers immediately. Because on your web page, the tracking of traffic is just kind of slower and it's less public about the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And how much communication do you do with people that are fans of yours? How much have you always done? How much of it, are there certain people you stay away from? How does that work?
Well, I've always interacted with people who contact me a whole lot, but on MySpace, it becomes like a regular daily thing because it's all about interaction, about commenting, about going and seeing other people's page and linking back and forth. So I think, you know, I spend hours a day just answering messages or commenting on people's profiles and stuff. And so I just think it's a great place for interaction and where people can really express whether or not they like the song, what they don't like about it, so you could improve yourself according to their reaction.
So how much of that do you actually, when say a 12-year-old kid or something listens to your music and they write something, how much of that do you take seriously? Because then, oh, hey, this is working. Is that great for you as an artist to hear that stuff?
Yeah, it's so great to get feedback immediately, and also I take into account everyone's comments. Like if a lot of people are saying one thing about the song, then obviously everyone's having that same feeling. If one person comments on it, then you might not pay that much attention, but usually if there's something wrong or something that they're really liking, you get a lot of comments in that direction.
You ever go to sleep at night like upset that you get so many comments on something you maybe worked a few months on? Like,
well, the thing is, I've been on the internet so long, and as you know, on the internet, there can be just a lot of negative feedback because people love to go on there and hate on people because it's fun. And I like to read those comments too. It's entertaining. So for me, I just take it as like work, constructive criticism. Like I'm not going to listen to the things that are obviously just hateful messages. But if they're constructive and they make sense and they act like they really care, you know, they really have this opinion, they really feel this way, then I'll definitely take it into account and not be hurt by it or anything.
how did that right away, in terms of when MySpace started to help your actual sales, people that actually were downloading your songs or buying your records, or how did that immediately kind of take off?
I, at first, put my songs up there and didn't make them available for download because at first you're like, oh, well, I want to try to make some money off it or whatever. But I kind of feel like the internet is a great place for independent artists to get their music heard. So right now I'm in favor of the Napsters and the Kazaa or whatever, all those sites. For me, I just rather have everyone have the music and hear it and just have it available. So I think it's great that MySpace offers that download ability.
Talk about where you are with your music right now. What are people who maybe have already heard your music, what can they look forward to?
So my music is taking kind of an edgier direction than before. I'd say like the beats are kind of darker. When I first came out with my music, I was kind of still experimenting, still kind of going generic pop. And then so it's edgier now with a tiny, teeny bit of rock, but not really. It's a little more definitely hip hop club stuff. And I'm working with a producer named Embryo, who's really great and innovative, and he's an up-and-coming guy.
How much time do you spend writing music? How much time do you spend in the studio? What's that like for you?
So for me, music is kind of like from morning to night. Like wake up in the morning, kind of practice, listen to the songs, think of ideas, spend a couple hours writing every morning, and then I'll go and listen to, actually on MySpace, I'll hear different producers, they'll submit stuff and they'll say, oh, I want to work with you, here's some of my stuff. I'll check it out. I met my producer on MySpace, actually, so I think MySpace is amazing. And then at night, it's at the studio, and we'll be there till, 2, 3, 4, whatever it takes.
When did you first know that music was something that you wanted to pursue seriously?
I think I always wanted to pursue music. My parents, when I was younger, had me in a bunch of classes, like math classes and science classes, outside of school, like in addition to school. But my heart was just kind of like I'd listen to music, and music would be what inspired me and made me like dream and everything. So I think that I always wanted to do music. I just was waiting for the opportunity to be able to. And I think the internet is really what has made it a possibility for me.
Mm-hmm. How much of it is your own drive? A lot of people want to do it but don't actually succeed at all, no matter how much they desire to do something. How much has that unbuilt-in drive made it work for you?
I think it's all about drive completely. There are many incredibly, incredibly talented people who don't make it because they're kind of maybe blessed with this incredible talent and they don't feel like they have to work at it. But even the very talented have to push and persevere, and there's so much failure, so much doors slammed in your face. You really have to have that drive, or else you're gonna not want to wake up in the morning and pursue it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Talk about how much you've done on your own in terms of when people first started knowing your name, through modeling, through acting, everything you've done. What was that like, and how much of that was just your own kind of your own work, your own self-promotion? How does that work?
I guess when I started off, I tried to pursue music at first, and it was kind of hard because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anyone. So I kind of fell into modeling, and the import car show scene was blowing up at that time. So I went into that scene.
If people don't know what that is, can you just describe what that is a little bit?
The import car show scene, I guess most people are familiar about it through Fast and Furious, but really it's been around for a much longer time. And that would be like hot import nights and import show-off, and it's basically this underground culture that started off Asian, where they take Japanese cars and they fix it up with rims and exhaust, and I don't even know. They could spend like tens of thousands of dollars. Kids in high school are spending this money fixing up their cars. And then late at night, back when I was in high school, they do the illegal street racing. So that was pretty crazy, and it was fun and exciting. And it's just a place where people could socialize. And then like the models started coming into the scene, and then the magazines started coming with the models on the covers and everything. And then this whole subculture exists now where you go to Hot Import Nights, there's 20,000 kids at the show, and they have a show now in the Philippines, in Canada, and all over the States.
And you became a huge deal in that world.
Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere that I started gaining, I guess, notoriety in that scene. And it was really exciting at that age. I got to travel, around the world, all across the country, see places I'd never seen before, just to be in the import car show scene. So it's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Now, how many of those fans translate to what you're doing now? How much is a whole new fan base? How many of those fans do you want? How much is good? How much is bad?
Well, I think the whole modeling thing is a double-edged sword. Like, a lot of those fans come along and they'll definitely listen to the music, and a lot of people are maybe diehard fans who will like anything you do. And then on the other hand, there's people who are like, oh, you're a model trying to sing, and they maybe don't want to see that, because you see that even on higher level, like Tyra Banks trying to sing. Everyone just tries to resist people making that transition. Mm-hmm. So you just have to push, you just have to make it quality so people can't say anything anymore.
Mm-hmm. So how rewarding is that then when you have success and you're doing a show and you're being a musician? What's it like having fans just coming out to hear your music and knowing they appreciate? That must be the dream, right?
Yeah, being on stage is definitely the ultimate feeling, because when you're on stage and you're like in the pocket where you're not even really conscious of what you're doing and you're just like feeling the vibe of the crowd and they're feeling you, there's no feeling like that in the world. Like, modeling can't compare to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How much is major label success, that kind of thing, part of your future? How much of that do you want? Are you scouting labels? Are you happy with things are? What's your future hold with that kind of thing?
I think the ultimate goal is definitely to get a major label at some point, but I very much believe in the independent process. So I think that you have to make a big name for yourself. And instead of going out there and courting the labels, you know, like I think 50 Cent did it that way. He sold a ton of mixtapes and finally everybody came at him. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important. These days, labels aren't willing to baby artists and have them, I forgot what it was called, but I guess where they take them and train them and everything. Sure. When they sign you, you gotta be ready to go. You gotta have sold already a ton of units on your own. Mm-hmm. So. And
how much, you're already a pro at this whole internet world, so you're already one step ahead of all these artists maybe starting out. You've already had so much success. Does that put you ahead of the game now with, maybe you don't need that for any number of years, you can do pretty well?
Yeah, I think you could take the independent road for a long time, and labels are just tricky because I have a lot of really good friends, talented, they get signed to labels, and any number of things can happen. You can get shelved, and you're locked up for the rest of your career. Like 5 years, you're done, that's your whole career. Or you could never get put out, you could, you know, there's just so many things that can happen. So you gotta be in a place where you're like the artist they want to push at that moment. And if you created a buzz for yourself, you're going to be that artist. Whereas if you're just coming along, you're talented, you're new, and you have a little bit of hype, you have a possibility of getting shelved. Mm-hmm. So that's a fear.
Sure. How much you enjoyed making the videos, doing the choreography, getting out there and dancing on camera? And talk about maybe the new video that we're going to, I'm not sure which one you gave me, but you can talk about that and what that was like putting that together.
I think shooting music videos is like right under performing. Well, it is performing, I guess, instead of just not in front of a live audience. But it's where you get to, you know, just dress up and get all the most amazing outfits and choreography and think of an idea and just put it onto video. So I guess the video we filmed recently is for my new single called Candy Coated Sugar Sex. So we had like this complicated story, but when you watch the video, it didn't really come across. So it's just like fun, kind of like roller skating 70s, drug, sex, and rock and roll kind of theme. Mm-hmm. He's all laughing.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Is that, who came up with those ideas? Is that the producer, is this something that you planned all yourself? How does that work?
My first music video, I planned kind of all by myself with my friend, and we had a great time doing it. This time I worked with a director who had some experience, and that took a lot of pressure off me because when you're trying to run it and be in it, just kind of a mess. So the director came up with a lot of the idea, and then I came up with a lot of ideas too. So it's a collaboration. Mm-hmm.
Now, is there competition with other people on the internet? Is that something you even think about? People like Tila Tequila that have made a name for themselves, or other people that may have been around. Is that a big deal, or is there room for everybody?
I think there's room for everybody. Of course, there's always a little bit of competitive edge, but nothing, you know, bad where people are going to backstab or talk shit. Can you say that? Yeah. Or anything. Tila actually comes from the import car show scene too, so I guess I knew her when she was an import model. Yeah.
Who were some of your kind of role models, kind of icons in the industry, male or female, that you kind of either want to work with or kind of look up to and follow your kind of career path after them?
I think Madonna is definitely an inspiration, like what she's done with her career and kept it going for so long. And I think, this is totally not my style, but Barbra Streisand I think is amazing because she totally, I read her bio or whatever, she had doors slammed in her face for years and years and years, and people telling her that she couldn't do what she wanted to do, and look at her now, she's like the most, you know, she's icon. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I think, and who I want to work with, without a doubt, is the Neptunes and Pharrell and everything. I think they're amazing and innovative and groundbreaking.
Have you had a chance to meet them, or?
No, I've never met them before.
But well, we'll have to play this and make sure that.
I know, like Pharrell, hey.
And talk about your film work. How many movies you've done? What we can look forward to with that.
So I just kind of got into films, I guess, recently. I shot a film called The Metrosexual, which is probably coming out this summer. So I guess that was based on that whole metrosexual fad that was happening. And I did a bunch of independent movies, but the one I'm most excited about is Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. And basically the movie is about drift racing, which I don't know if you know about. It's where they race and they kind of let go of the brake and the cars go crazy. It's kind of hard to explain, but I guess you'll see it in the movie.
Have you been actually, in all of your time with all these cars, have you actually raced any cars or had any wild experiences that you can
No,
relate?
well, I've been, when I was younger in high school, in the illegal races, I got to ride in the car. So, I mean, that's dangerous, I guess, because people crash all the time. But when you're young, you think like you're invincible. There probably wouldn't be an illegal street race now,
Right.
but it's fun back then.
Until your fancy kind of like knock it off these
Calm
days?
down, yeah. But drift racing, I think, is cool. I was going to learn last summer to try to drift race, even though I don't even know how to drive stick. But I didn't get the chance to because I didn't end up having time. But I think it's still something I want to do.
Mm-hmm. And the single, talk about what albums are actually an album that's going to be coming out this summer. What can we look forward to in terms of an actual record coming out, and where can people get that?
So the record should be distributed like nationally. So you should be able to get it in all stores. And I guess the album's just really club and dance music. So that's probably what you'll be expecting from there.
Mm-hmm. And people can, this day and age, is it easier to get some things on the net? Do you sell this stuff yourself? People should go to your MySpace page. Do they go to...
Yeah, it'll definitely be available on my MySpace page. Myself, I don't buy CDs anymore. I buy everything off iTunes. Mm-hmm. So it'll be available there and on Napster and all the sites that are selling music these days.
Mm-hmm. And right now you have stuff on iTunes already, right?
Yeah, I have some of my older material on iTunes now.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay. Anything else you left out? Career-wise? You want to mention?
Can I mention something about this other site? Or is it only MySpace?
No, yeah,
okay.
of course. Yeah, so talk about you're involved in not just MySpace, but...
So I'm working with this new site called livedigital.com, and it's kind of a more video-based site, kind of like YouTube, where people post up video blogs. And we're doing a contest right now for Fast and Furious for kids who fix up their cars and everything. So I guess they have to film their car in the video and kind of describe it and tell a story. But the winner will get a cover on a D Sport magazine. They'll get their car in there. So that's pretty fun, I think.
Very good. And for your fans, what's something that maybe they don't know about Kaila that you maybe want to share? Is there something people will be surprised to find out?
I don't know, anything. I'm pretty like low key in my normal life. Like I read books and I cook and I eat. Like eating's my passion.
Yeah.
I like to go eat weird foods. So I couldn't think of anything too random that they'd be interested in knowing.
Right. If people want to see you play, you're going to be doing occasional shows or things to look forward to?
Yeah, I have a show coming up. I think it's May 27th at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. And I think A-Marie and Christina Milian will be performing.
Wow.
So that'll be my only show for a while. So if you're up in the Bay Area, go check that out.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that should be really exciting.
All right. Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.